From the auction block to a palace, my skin marked me as unwanted until the Black Alpha King claimed me as his own. Now, as war threatens our kingdom and a mysterious power awakens inside me, I must choose between the safety of isolation and the dangerous promise of love. What would you sacrifice to belong when the very things that made you an outcast might be your greatest strength? I stand shivering on the wooden auction block, feeling the morning breeze cut through my thin dress. The crowd below looks up at me with cold eyes and whispers behind their hands. My white hair falls around my face like a curtain, and I wish I could hide behind it forever. The auctioneer grabs my arm, pulling me to the front of the platform. His fingers dig into my pale skin, leaving red marks that I know will turn to bruises by tonight. I keep my eyes down, counting the knots in the wooden boards beneath my bare feet. Next up, the auctioneer shouts, his voice booming across the square. "We have something unusual for you fine folks today. An albino Omega girl, just 17 years old. A rare find indeed." His words make my stomach twist. I am not a thing. I am a person. But in this kingdom, Omegas like me are sold like cattle, and those with my condition are seen as bad luck. No one wants the girl with skin as white as snow and eyes the color of dawn. The crowd falls quiet, too quiet. I risk a peek through my lashes and see faces filled with doubt and fear. Some even step back, as if my difference might be catching. A woman pulls her child close, turning his face away from me. She can cook and clean. The auctioneer adds quickly, his smile tight. She's strong despite her looks, trained in the ways of serving. Let's start the bidding at 50 gold pieces. Silence answers him. The square is packed with people, yet no one raises a hand. The auctioneer clears his throat. 40 gold pieces then. Surely someone can use an extra set of hands around the house. Still nothing. My cheeks burn with shame, but I am not surprised. This has been my life since my parents left me at the temple steps as a baby. No one wants a child who cannot go out in the sun without her skin burning red. No one wants a girl whose hair and lashes are white as an old woman's. No one wants the bad luck that people believe I bring. 30 gold pieces. The auctioneer sounds angry now. Come now, good people. Even the mines could use her. She's young and has all her teeth. He yanks my mouth open to show the crowd, and I taste the salt and dirt on his fingers. I pull away, and he slaps me hard. The sound echoes across the square, and I bite my lip to keep from crying out. And she's obedient too. He lies, gripping my arm tighter. 20 gold pieces. A bargain. I close my eyes and wish myself far away. If no one buys me, I'll be sent to the mines in the north, where Omegas dig until they die. Or worse, to the pleasure houses, where they're used until they're broken. The sisters at the temple told me stories of both fates, thinking it would make me more grateful for the hard work and cold beds they provided. Instead, it gave me nightmares that still wake me screaming. 10 gold pieces, the auctioneer says, his voice flat now. Final offer. The silence stretches so long that I hear the flutter of birds' wings overhead and the distant barking of dogs in the town. My future narrows down to a dark tunnel with no light at the end. Then a murmur rises from the back of the crowd. People shift and move, stepping aside to make way for someone. The whispers grow louder, tinged with awe and fear. It's him, the king from the north, the Black Alpha. I feel it then. A strange pull inside me, like a hook behind my ribs drawing me forward. My Omega senses, usually so quiet, flare to life. An alpha is near. Not just any alpha, but one of great power. My heart pounds so hard I can hear the blood rushing in my ears. I should keep my eyes down. Omegas never look directly at alphas, especially not royal ones. But the pull is too strong. My head lifts of its own accord, and I look up. The crowd has parted like water around a stone, revealing a man at the back of the square. Even from this distance, I can see why they call him the Black Alpha King. His skin is darker than anyone I've ever seen, like the midnight sky without stars. He stands tall above everyone around him, dressed not in royal finery, but in simple traveling clothes of deep blue and black. Yet there is no missing the power that flows from him like heat from a fire. Our eyes meet across the distance. His are the color of amber held up to sunlight, burning gold against his dark face. Something passes between us in that moment, a jolt of recognition that makes no sense. I've never seen him before. I would remember those eyes. The auctioneer notices the change in the crowd and follows their gaze. When he spots the king, he straightens up like a man pulled by strings. "Your Majesty," he calls, bowing deeply. "What an honor to have you grace our humble auction. Are you looking for new servants for your palace? We have many fine specimens today." The king says nothing. He begins to walk forward, and the crowd melts away from his path. His eyes never leave mine, and I cannot look away, though every lesson I've ever learned screams at me to drop my gaze. He stops at the foot of the auction block. Up close, he is even more imposing. His shoulders are broad, his arms corded with muscle. He stands with the easy confidence of a man who has never doubted his place in the world. How different from me, who has never known where I belong. "This one," he says, his voice deep and smooth like water over stones. "How much?" The auctioneer's eyes bulge with surprise, then narrow with greed. "Well, Your Majesty, this is a rare omega indeed. One of a kind, you might say. I couldn't possibly let her go for less than 500 gold pieces." A gasp runs through the crowd. 500 gold pieces could buy a small farm or a shop in town. It could feed a family for years. No omega has ever sold for such a price, let alone one like me. The king doesn't even blink. "Done," he says, and hands a small pouch to one of his men, who brings it to the auctioneer. The auctioneer's hands shake as he counts out the coins. "She's yours, Your Majesty! A fine choice, if I may say so." The king ignores him, still looking at me. "What is your name, little wolf?" he asks softly. I swallow hard, my throat dry as sand. No one has asked my name in years. At the temple, I was girl, or you there, or ghost. At the auction house, I was just a number scrawled on my arm in black ink. They called me Winter at the temple, I whisper, because of my hair. His eyes soften just a fraction. "Winter," he repeats, as if tasting the word. "Fitting." He turns to his men. "Prepare her for travel. We leave within the hour." With that, he walks away, back straight and head high. The crowd parts for him again, some bowing, others just staring. I watch him go, my mind spinning with questions I dare not ask. Why would the Black Alpha King want me? The stories say he rules the Northern Territories with an iron fist. They say his palace is built of black stone on the edge of a frozen lake. They say he has never taken a mate, that he trusts no one since his parents were killed when he was young. What could he possibly want with an albino omega who burns in the sun and sees poorly in bright light? A woman approaches me. Not rough like the auction guards, but not gentle either. She wears the king's colors and carries herself like a soldier. "Come," she says, helping me down from the platform. "We need to get you cleaned up and dressed for the journey." She leads me away from the auction block, through the crowd, that now stares at me with new eyes. Not disgust or fear, but wonder and envy. Yesterday I was nothing. Today I am the property of a king. As we pass through the square, I catch one last glimpse of him standing by his horse, talking to his men. As if feeling my gaze, he turns and looks at me. The same jolt passes between us, stronger this time. I quickly look away, my heart racing. The woman takes me to a small inn, where a tub of hot water waits. She helps me undress and wash away the dirt of the auction house. She gives me new clothes, simple but clean, made of soft fabric that doesn't scratch my sensitive skin. She brushes my long white hair until it shines like fresh snow in sunlight. Why did he choose me? I finally dare to ask as she braids my hair. She meets my eyes in the small mirror on the wall. It's not my place to guess the king's mind, she says, but I've served him for 10 years, and I've never seen him look at anyone the way he looked at you today. Her words send a shiver down my spine that is not entirely from fear. An hour later, I sit on a horse for the first time in my life, wrapped in a cloak with a deep hood to protect my skin from the Sunday. The king rides at the front of our group, his back straight, his gaze forward. I am at the rear with the woman soldier, who tells me her name is Nala. As we leave the town behind, I take one last look at the place that never wanted me. The auction block stands empty now, waiting for tomorrow's unfortunates. The temple where I grew up sits on the hill above town, its white walls gleaming in the sun that has always been my enemy. I don't know what waits for me in the north. I don't know why the king chose me or what he will expect. I only know that for the first time in my life, someone wanted me enough to claim me as their own. Whether that turns out to be a blessing or a curse remains to be seen. But as we ride away, the strange pull I feel toward the distant figure of the king grows stronger with each step. And deep inside, in a place I've kept locked away since I was old enough to understand, I was different. Something begins to stir, something that feels dangerously like hope. 3 moons have passed since I came to the palace of the Black Alpha King. 3 moons of living in a grand room with silk sheets and warm baths. 3 moons of eating food I never knew existed. 3 moons of being left alone. The king has not called for me since our arrival. I was given rooms in the east wing of the palace, far from his quarters in the north tower. The servants bring me meals and fresh clothes. They are kind but keep their distance. Some still cross their fingers when they see me, an old sign to ward off bad luck. I spend my days exploring the parts of the palace I am allowed to visit. There are gardens with strange flowers that only bloom at night, perfect for my sensitive skin. There is a library with more books than I could read in 3 lifetimes. There is a small kitchen where the cook lets me help sometimes, remembering skills from my days at the temple. At night, I stand on my balcony and look at the stars. From here, I can see the frozen lake that stretches north of the palace. Its surface gleams silver under the moonlight, beautiful and cold, like everything in this kingdom. Tonight, a storm rages outside. Rain lashes against my windows, and thunder shakes the glass. I cannot see the stars or the lake. The world beyond my room is a dark blur of water and wind. I sit by the fire, reading a book about the history of the Northern Territories. It speaks of the king's family, how they have ruled these lands for 10 generations, how the current king's parents were killed by rebels when he was just a boy, how he crushed the rebellion with a fierceness that earned him the fear and respect of all neighboring kingdoms. A crack of thunder makes me jump, and then I hear it, a pounding at my door. Not the soft knock of a servant bringing my evening meal, but heavy, urgent strikes. I set my book aside and move to the door, my heart racing. No one comes to my rooms at this hour. No one comes to my rooms at all except the servants. "Who is it?" I call, pressing my ear to the wood. "Open the door!" The voice is deep, commanding, the king's voice. I pull open the door, and there he stands, the Black Alpha King, drenched from the storm. His fine clothes cling to his body, and water drips from his face onto the stone floor. But it's not his appearance that makes me step back in shock. It's what he carries in his arms. A child, a small girl with brown skin and curly black hair. She's wrapped in a wet cloak far too big for her, and she's crying, her little body shaking with sobs. "I need your help," the king says, his golden eyes meeting mine for the first time since the auction. "Please." I notice then that he's not just wet. A dark stain spreads across his side, seeping through his blue tunic. Blood. "He's hurt. Come in," I say, stepping back to let them pass. The king staggers into my room, and I can see the pain on his face now. He makes it to my bed before his strength seems to fail him. He sets the child down gently on the covers, then sinks into the chair by the fire, one hand pressed to his side. The little girl continues to cry, looking around the strange room with wide, frightened eyes. She can't be more than 3 years old. Still a baby, really. I go to her first. "Shh," I whisper, kneeling by the bed. "You're safe now." I take the wet cloak off her and wrap her in one of my blankets. Her skin is cold to the touch, but she doesn't seem hurt. I look over at the king, who watches me with those golden eyes. "She needs dry clothes and something warm to drink," I tell him. "And I need to see your wound." He nods, his face tight with pain. I can smell his blood now, sharp and metallic, mixing with the scent of rain and something else, something that makes my omega senses stir. His alpha scent, strong and wild, like pine trees and winter wind. I go to my wardrobe and find a soft nightdress I can cut down for the child. Then I ring for a servant, who arrives quickly, eyes going wide at the sight of the king in my chambers. "Bring hot milk with honey," I tell her, "and clean bandages, hot water, and healing herbs, quickly." She bows and rushes away. I return to the child, who has stopped crying but watches me with wary eyes. "Hello," I say softly. "My name is Winter. What's yours?" She doesn't answer, but her lower lip trembles. "It's all right," I tell her. "You don't have to talk yet. Let's get you warm and dry." As I help her change into the cut-down nightdress, I glance at the king. "What happened?" He leans his head back against the chair, his eyes closing briefly. "We were attacked on the road back from the Eastern Territories. They were waiting for us. The child's mother." He stops, looking at the little girl, then at me. "She didn't survive. She was my friend's wife. I couldn't leave her daughter." My hands still as I tie the ribbon on the nightdress. "I'm sorry," I say, and I mean it. I know what it's like to lose parents. The servant returns with everything I asked for. She sets it all down and leaves quickly, closing the door behind her. I pour the warm milk into a cup and help the little girl drink it. She takes it eagerly, her small hands wrapping around mine on the cup. "What's her name?" I ask the king as I tuck the blanket around the now sleepy child. "Zuri," he says. "Her name is Zuri. It's a pretty name, from the Eastern Territories. It means beautiful in their language." With Zuri settled, I turn my attention to the king. I pour hot water into a basin and add the healing herbs, then gather the bandages. The scent of mint and lavender fills the room, mixing with the smells of rain and blood and alpha. "I need to see your wound," I tell him, trying to keep my voice steady. He nods and begins to remove his tunic. The movement makes him wince, and without thinking, I step forward to help him. My fingers brush against his skin, and a shock runs through me at the touch. His skin is hot, almost burning, and smooth, like polished wood. The wound is on his left side, a deep cut about the length of my hand. It's still bleeding, but not as badly as I feared. "It needs to be cleaned and stitched," I tell him. "It will hurt." "It already hurts," he says, with the ghost of a smile. I kneel beside his chair and begin to clean the wound with the herb water. He doesn't make a sound, though I know it must sting badly. His muscles tense under my touch, hard as stone. "Why did you come to me?" I ask quietly as I work. "Surely you have healers in your palace." He looks down at me, his golden eyes reflecting the firelight. I couldn't trust anyone else. The attack was not random. Someone betrayed us, told the attackers where we would be. I understand then. He doesn't know who to trust among his own people, so he came to me, the outsider, the one with no ties to his court or his enemies. Can you sew? He asks, nodding toward the wound. Yes, I say. They taught us at the temple. I've stitched wounds before. I thread a needle from the healing kit the servant brought and hold it in the flame to clean it. Then I begin the careful work of stitching his skin back together. Again, he makes no sound, though I feel his body tense with each push of the needle. You're brave, I tell him, not looking up from my work. Or just too tired to feel much, he replies. When I finish, I spread a healing salve over the stitches and wrap clean bandages around his middle. My fingers move across his skin, tracing the lines of old scars that tell stories of other battles, other wounds. Thank you, he says when I'm done. He looks over at Zuri, who has fallen asleep on my bed, her small face peaceful at last. Thank you for helping us both. You didn't give me much choice, I say, but there's no anger in my voice. You are my king, after all, and my owner. His eyes snap back to mine, sharp and sudden. I don't own you. You bought me, I remind him. 500 gold pieces. I freed you, he says, the moment we crossed into my kingdom. Did no one tell you? I stare at him, not understanding. No one told me anything, I thought. I stop, unsure what to say. You thought I brought you here as a slave? He shakes his head, wincing at the movement. Is that why you've stayed in these rooms? You're free to go wherever you wish in the palace, free to leave, if that's what you want. My mind spins with this new knowledge. Free. I haven't been free since my parents left me at the temple steps. Maybe I was never free at all. Then why? I ask. Why buy me at all? Why bring me here? He looks into the fire, his face thoughtful. I had my reasons, which were not ones I can share just yet. He shifts in the chair, grimacing in pain. I should go. You've done enough. He tries to stand but sways on his feet. I catch his arm, feeling the strength in him even in weakness. You're not going anywhere tonight, I tell him, surprising myself with my boldness. You've lost too much blood, and the storm is still raging. Stay here, rest. He looks down at me, something unreadable in his eyes. Where will you sleep if I take your bed? The chair is fine for me, or I can ask for another room for the night. He seems about to argue, then looks at Zuri, still sleeping soundly. Very well, just for tonight. I help him to the bed, careful of his wound. He lies down beside Zuri, who curls against him in her sleep, like a kitten seeking warmth. The sight makes something twist inside me, a longing for something I've never had. Rest, I tell him, pulling a blanket over them both. You're safe here. He catches my hand as I turn away, his fingers warm around mine. Why are you helping us? He asks. You owe me nothing. Less than nothing, if you thought yourself a slave all this time. I look at our hands, my pale skin against his darkness. Because you needed help, I say simply. And no one helped me when I needed it. Until you. His fingers tighten around mine for a moment, then let go. I move to the chair by the fire and settle in for the night, listening to the storm outside and the quiet breathing of the king and the child. In the firelight, I study his sleeping face, relaxed now in rest. He doesn't look like a feared ruler, a warrior king. He looks like a man, tired and hurt, trying to protect a child not his own. I don't know what tomorrow will bring. I don't know why he really bought me, or what he wants from me. But tonight, in this room, with the storm raging outside and the fire burning low, we are just three lost souls finding shelter together. And somehow that feels right. Morning comes with soft light seeping through the curtains. I wake in the chair, my neck stiff and my legs numb from sleeping sitting up. For a moment, I forget the events of last night. Then I hear the soft breathing from my bed and remember the storm, the king, the child. I rise quietly and go to check on them. Zuri is curled against the king's side, her small hand resting on his chest. They both sleep deeply. The king's face looks younger in sleep, the hard lines of worry smoothed away. His dark skin glows in the morning light, and his black hair falls across his forehead. I resist the strange urge to brush it back. Instead, I call softly for a servant and ask for breakfast to be brought, along with clothes for the child and fresh bandages. When the servant leaves, I open the curtains a bit more to let in the cool morning air. The storm has passed, leaving the world washed clean and bright. You're still here. I turn to find the king awake, watching me with those golden eyes. Zuri still sleeps beside him, her face peaceful. It's my room, I remind him with a small smile. He starts to sit up, then winces, a hand going to his wounded side. Be careful, I say, moving to help him. The stitches need time to hold. He lets me adjust the pillows behind him so he can sit comfortably. His skin is warm under my hands, and I can feel his strength returning, alpha healing, faster than other people's. How do you feel? I ask, stepping back. Like I was stabbed, he says dryly. Then, more seriously, better than I should, thanks to you. Breakfast arrives, and the smell of fresh bread and honey wakes Zuri. She sits up, rubbing her eyes with small fists, looking around in confusion. When she sees the king, she relaxes a bit, but when her eyes find me, she shrinks back. It's all right, little one, I say softly. Remember me? I'm Winter. I gave you warm milk last night. She doesn't speak, but watches as I pour her a cup of milk from the breakfast tray. I add a spoonful of honey and hold it out to her. After a moment, she takes it, her fingers brushing mine. Thank you, she whispers, the first words I've heard her speak. Over the next few days, a strange routine forms. The king's men search the palace for the traitor who set up the attack, but he stays in my chambers, recovering from his wound. Zuri stays too, sleeping in my bed while I take the couch that servants brought in. During the day, I care for them both, changing the king's bandages, playing with Zuri, reading stories to her from books the servants bring. The king, who asks me to call him Kofi when we're alone, grows stronger each day. He sits by the fire and works through reports his trusted men bring, but he doesn't return to his own quarters. He says it's safer this way, with no one knowing exactly where he is. I think there's more to it, but I don't push. Zuri slowly opens up to me. She still doesn't speak much, but she follows me around the room, helping in her small way when I tidy up or arrange flowers from the garden. She lets me brush her curly hair and tie it with ribbons. She sits on my lap for stories, her small body warm against mine. One evening, a week after they arrived, I find Kofi watching me as I put Zuri to bed. His golden eyes are thoughtful in the firelight. What? I ask, tucking the blanket around the sleeping child. You're good with her, he says. She trusts you. I smooth a curl from Zuri's forehead. She's easy to love. When I look up, Kofi is still watching me, something new in his gaze. Not everyone would think so. Not everyone would take in a strange child and a wounded man in the middle of the night. I return to my place on the couch, picking up my sewing. I've been making new clothes for Zuri from fabrics the servants bring. I told you, you helped me when no one else would. Is that the only reason? He asks. I keep my eyes on my stitches, feeling my cheeks warm. Why else would I help the feared Black Alpha King? He laughs softly. Is that what they call me? Among other things, I say, looking up at him. The Shadow King, the Midnight Ruler, the Dark One. His smile fades. And what do you call me in your thoughts? The question catches me off guard. What do I call him in my mind? Not those fearful names, not Your Majesty or my King, not even Kofi, though that's what I say out loud. I don't know, I admit. I haven't decided yet. He nods, as if my answer makes sense to him. Why did they leave you at the temple? He asks, changing the subject. Your parents? I tense, my fingers stilling on the fabric. No one has asked me that in years. Because I was born like this, I say, gesturing to my pale skin and white hair. In my village, albino babies were considered bad luck. Some were even killed. My parents were kinder. They just left me where they knew I'd be fed. That's not kind, he says, his voice hard. That's just a lesser cruelty. I shrug, trying to seem like it doesn't matter. It was a long time ago. The temple raised me well enough. Until they sold you. They needed money to repair the roof, I say. It sounds absurd when I say it out loud. Trading a human life for roof tiles. Kofi's hands tighten on the arms of his chair. And how did they treat you, these holy people? I hesitate, not wanting to remember, but something in his eyes pulls the truth from me. They fed me, clothed me, taught me to read and write and cook and sew. I swallow hard. They also made me sleep in the cellar when important visitors came, so I wouldn't be seen. They made me cover my hair and keep my eyes down. They told the village children I would curse them if they played with me. I hear the bitterness in my voice and stop, embarrassed. I'm sorry. It wasn't so bad. Others have it worse. Don't do that, Kofi says quietly. Don't make your pain smaller just because others suffer too. Pain isn't a contest. His words strike something deep inside me, a knot I've carried so long I forgot it was there. My eyes burn with sudden tears, and I blink them away. What about you? I ask, needing to turn the focus from myself. The stories say your parents were killed when you were young. A shadow passes over his face. Yes, I was 10. Old enough to remember, too young to stop it. I'm sorry, I say. Was it true what the book said? That you crushed the rebellion? His eyes darken, the gold turning almost brown. Eventually, not soon enough to save my mother and father, but soon enough to keep the kingdom from falling apart. He looks into the fire, his face hard. I did what I had to do. I hear the weight of unspoken things in his voice, the burden of choices made too young. It must have been hard, I say, being a child and a king at the same time. He looks at me, surprised by my words. Yes, he says after a moment. It was. No one ever put it quite that way before. We fall silent, the only sounds the crackling fire and Zuri's soft breathing from the bed. Outside, the moon rises over the frozen lake, turning the world silver. I used to dream of a place like this. I say softly, when I was little, somewhere far away where the sun wasn't so bright, where I could go outside without my skin burning, somewhere with snow and ice and soft light. And now that you're here, he asks, is it what you dreamed? I think about it. The palace with its cool stone walls, the night-blooming gardens, the frozen lake that gleams like a mirror, the king with eyes like amber fire, the child who sleeps in my bed, the strange feeling of belonging that grows inside me each day. It's better, I say honestly, and worse, more real than dreams ever are. He nods, understanding. Dreams never have blood or fear in them, or if they do, you can wake up. Or orphaned children, I add, looking at Zuri. Or wounds that need stitching. Or albino omega girls who ask too many questions, he says. But there's a smile in his voice. I look at him, catching that rare smile, and something shifts between us. A wall coming down, a bridge being built. Why did you really buy me? I ask. The question that has burned inside me since that day at the auction. The truth this time. He holds my gaze for a long moment, then sighs. I saw myself in you, he admits. Not in looks, obviously. That smile touches his lips again, but in how you held yourself. Alone, apart, different from everyone around you, yet unbroken. I was broken long ago, I say. the words slipping out before I can stop them. No. He leans forward, wincing slightly at the pull on his stitches. Bent, perhaps. Scarred, certainly, but not broken. His eyes hold mine, intense and certain. I know broken, Winter. I've seen it. I've felt it. That's not what I see when I look at you. His words wrap around me like a warm blanket, seeping into cold places I didn't know were still frozen. What do you see? I whisper. Strength, he says without hesitation. Kindness. A heart that should have turned hard but didn't. He pauses, then adds, beauty. My cheeks burn, and I look down at my pale hands. No one has ever called me beautiful before. Strange, yes. Unusual, cursed, but never beautiful. You don't have to say that, I tell him. I know what I am. Do you? He asks. I don't think you do. Not yet. Before I can ask what he means, Zuri cries out in her sleep, her small face creased with fear. I go to her quickly, sitting on the edge of the bed and stroking her hair. Shh, I whisper. You're safe, little one. You're safe. She opens her eyes, seeing me but not seeing me, caught in the grip of a nightmare. Mama, she whimpers. Want Mama. My heart breaks for her. I gather her into my arms, rocking her gently. I know, sweet girl, I say. I know. I feel Kofi's eyes on us, watching as I comfort the child who isn't mine. The child who lost her mother just as I lost mine, though in a different way. I sing a soft lullaby the Temple sisters sang to the younger children, my voice low and soothing in the quiet room. Zuri's small body gradually relaxes. Her breathing evens out, and she slips back into sleep, her head heavy on my shoulder. You should rest too, Kofi says as I lay Zuri back down. It's late. I nod, suddenly aware of how tired I am. As I move toward the couch, Kofi catches my hand, stopping me. Thank you, he says, his voice rough with emotion. For this, for her, for everything. His hand is warm around mine, strong and gentle at the same time. I find myself not wanting to pull away. You're welcome, I say softly. That night, as I lie on the couch listening to the quiet breathing of the king and the child, I realize that in just a few days, my world has changed completely. I am no longer alone. I am no longer unwanted. I am no longer just the albino girl everyone fears. I am becoming something else, something more. What that is, I don't yet know. But for the first time in my life, I'm not afraid to find out. 2 weeks pass in our strange, peaceful bubble. Kofi's wound heals well, the angry red line fading to pink. Zuri smiles more often now, sometimes even laughing when I play with her. And I find myself looking forward to the evenings when the three of us sit by the fire. Zuri playing with toys the servants bring, Kofi and I talking about books or the kingdom or nothing at all. But I know it can't last. Kofi is a king, not a man who can hide in an Omega's chambers forever. The world outside my room still turns, and his enemies still plot. I see it in the tightness around his eyes when his men bring reports, in the low, worried talks they have when they think I'm not listening. Tonight, after Zuri falls asleep, Kofi stands at the window looking out at the frozen lake. The moonlight cuts his profile in silver, highlighting the strong line of his jaw, the straight bridge of his nose. He seems lost in thought, one hand resting on the hilt of the dagger he always keeps at his side now. What's wrong? I ask, setting aside the book I've been reading. He doesn't turn. My men have found traces of the traitor, but whoever it is has friends in high places. What does that mean? He sighs, his breath fogging the cold glass. It means the threat is closer than I thought, maybe even inside the palace walls. A chill runs down my spine that has nothing to do with the winter air seeping through the window. Are you in danger? Now he turns, his golden eyes finding mine across the room. I'm always in danger, Winter. It's part of wearing a crown. I think of the wound in his side, now healing, but still a reminder of how close death came. And Zuri? Is she in danger too? His face softens when he looks at the sleeping child. Yes, that's why I brought her to you. Anyone who wants to hurt me might use her to do it. Because they think she's important to you? I ask. Because she is important to me, he corrects. Her mother was my friend since childhood. I swore to protect her daughter with my life if needed. I think about this, about the kind of man who keeps such promises even when it puts him in more danger. Not the cold, feared king of the stories. Something else. Someone else. You should sleep, he says, moving away from the window. It's late. I nod, but don't move from my chair. Something feels different tonight. A tension in the air like the moment before lightning strikes. Kofi seems to feel it too. He paces the room slowly, checking the lock on the door, the latches on the windows. His hand never leaves his dagger. I can watch for a while, I offer. If you want to rest? He smiles at me, a real smile that reaches his eyes. Thank you, but I'm fine. Alpha stamina. I roll my eyes at him. Even alphas need sleep, Your Majesty. His smile widens at my teasing tone. I'll remember you said that when you're falling asleep in your soup tomorrow. I'm about to respond when a sound stops me. A soft thud from somewhere in the hall outside. Kofi freezes, his body going tense as a bowstring. He raises one finger to his lips, telling me to be quiet. Then he moves silently to the door, pressing his ear against it. Another sound, closer now. A muffled cry cut short. Kofi draws his dagger, the steel gleaming in the firelight. Get Zuri, he whispers urgently. Hide her. My heart pounds as I rush to the bed, scooping up the still sleeping child. I look around wildly, searching for a hiding place. The wardrobe? Too obvious. Under the bed? The first place they'd check. Kofi points to a panel in the wall near the fireplace, a servant's entrance I didn't know existed. I nod and carry Zuri there, trying not to wake her. The panel slides open at my touch, revealing a narrow passage. I start to step inside. Wait, Kofi says, his voice barely a breath. He comes to me, places one hand on my cheek. If I don't come for you, go to the kitchens. Ask for Nuri. Tell her winter roses bloom in darkness. She'll help you. I want to ask what he means, why he thinks he might not come for us, but there's no time. The sounds in the hall are louder now. Footsteps, the clash of metal. I clutch Zuri tighter and slip into the passage. The panel closes behind me, leaving us in darkness. The passage is narrow and cold, with rough stone walls on either side. I can barely see, but I feel my way forward, one hand trailing the wall. Zuri stirs in my arms, making a small sound of protest. Shh, I whisper against her hair. We're playing a game. We have to be very quiet. I don't know how far I've gone when I hear the crash from my chambers, the door being broken down. Zuri wakes fully at the noise, her eyes wide with fear in the darkness. What's that? She whispers. Nothing, sweet girl, I lie. Just the wind. More sounds echo down the passage. Shouts, the scrape of furniture being overturned, the dull thud of bodies hitting walls. I want to go back, to help Kofi, but I know I can't. I have to protect Zuri. I promised. We reach a split in the passage, one way continuing forward, the other branching off to the left. I hesitate, not knowing which way leads to safety. Before I can decide, a new sound freezes my blood, the panel at the entrance to the passage sliding open. Someone is following us. I choose quickly, taking the left path. It slopes downward, the air growing colder and damper. Zuri shivers in my arms, and I wrap her tighter in my shawl. Are we hiding from bad people? She asks, her voice small. Yes, I answer honestly. But don't worry, I won't let them hurt you. Even as I say it, I wonder how I can keep such a promise. I have no weapon, no way to fight. I'm just an omega, weak and small compared to the alphas who must be hunting us. The passage ends abruptly at another panel. I push it open carefully, peering out. We're in a storage room, filled with barrels and sacks. It smells of flour and dried herbs. The kitchen must be nearby. I step out, still carrying Zuri, and close the panel behind us. The room is dim, lit only by the moonlight filtering through a high window. I pick my way through the barrels, heading for the door on the far side. That's when I hear it. Breathing. Not mine, not Zuri's. Someone else is in the room with us. Well, well, says a deep voice from the shadows. What have we here? The king's new pet and his little ward. How convenient. A man steps into a patch of moonlight. He's tall and broad, with the bearing of an alpha. A scar runs from his left eye to his jaw, white against his tan skin. He wears the uniform of the palace guard, but the smile on his face tells me he's no protector. Give me the child, he says, holding out his hand. Do it quickly, and I might let you live. I back away, clutching Tsuri tighter. No. His smile falls away, replaced by cold anger. Don't be stupid, Omega. You can't win against me. He's right, and we both know it. He's twice my size, an alpha in his prime. But I think of Kofi fighting to protect us, of Zuri's mother dying to save her child. Some things are worth fighting for, even when you can't win. Stay behind me, Zuri, I say, setting her down. If you see a chance to run, take it. The man laughs, a harsh sound that echoes off the stone walls. Playing the hero? How sweet, and how useless. He lunges forward, faster than I expected. His hand grabs my arm, fingers digging in hard enough to bruise. I cry out, more in surprise than pain, and try to pull away. Stop fighting, Omega, he growls, his face close to mine. Know your place. Something inside me snaps at his words. A lifetime of being told my place, of being pushed down, hidden away, thought less than. A lifetime of being afraid. I'm not afraid anymore. I bring my knee up hard, catching him between the legs. He grunts in pain and loosens his grip just enough for me to twist away. I grab the nearest thing I can find, a heavy wooden ladle hanging on the wall, and swing it at his head. He blocks it easily, snarling in rage. You'll pay for that. He comes at me again, but this time I'm ready. I dodge to the side, swinging the ladle at his outstretched hand. It connects with a satisfying crack, and he howls in pain. Run, Zuri, I shout. Run now. She doesn't move, her small face white with fear, her eyes huge and dark. The man sees her, changes direction, lunging toward the child. No! I scream, throwing myself between them. His fist catches me in the side, knocking the breath from my lungs. I fall to my knees, gasping for air. He pushes past me, reaching for Zuri. And then something happens. Something I can't explain. The fear and rage inside me crystallize into something hard and bright and powerful. I feel it rising through me, like ice water in my veins, flowing out from my center to my limbs, my fingers, my eyes. Don't touch her, I say, and my voice sounds different, deeper, echoing with something that isn't just me. The man turns annoyance on his face, then stops, his eyes widening in shock. What the? I don't know what he sees, but it makes him step back, his hand going to the knife at his belt. What are you? He whispers. I rise to my feet, feeling strange and light, as if gravity has loosened its hold on me. The air around me shimmers with tiny points of light, like stars brought down to earth. My hair floats around my face, lifted by a wind I can't feel. Leave, I tell him, pointing to the door. Now. For a moment, I think he'll obey. Fear is plain on his face as he stares at me. But then his expression hardens, and he draws his knife. Nice trick, Omega. But it won't save you. He charges, knife raised. I raise my hands in defense, not knowing what else to do. And light, pure, blinding white light, erupts from my palms. It hits him square in the chest, throwing him back against the wall with enough force to crack the stone. He slumps to the floor, unconscious or worse, his knife clattering beside him. The light fades as quickly as it came. My legs give out, and I sink to the floor, my strength gone. Zuri runs to me, her small arms wrapping around my neck. You glowed, she says, wonder in her voice, like the moon. Before I can answer, the door bursts open. I try to rise, to defend us again, but I have nothing left. I can only pull Zuri behind me and face whatever comes. It's Kofi. His clothes are torn and bloody, a fresh cut on his cheek dripping red down his neck. But he's alive, standing, golden eyes scanning the room until they find us. Winter, he breathes, crossing to us in 3 long strides. He kneels beside me, hands checking for injuries. Are you hurt? Is Zuri all right? We're fine, I say, though I'm not sure that's true. What just happened? What did I do? Kofi follows my gaze to the man slumped against the wall. His eyes narrow, then widen as he takes in the cracked stone, the scorch marks on the floor. Did you do that? He asks quietly. I nod, not trusting my voice. He helps me to my feet, one arm around my waist to steady me. We need to go. There might be more of them. She glowed, Zuri tells him, tugging on his tunic. Like the moon. Kofi's eyes meet mine over her head, full of questions I can't answer. But there's something else there too. Not fear, not disgust, but a kind of awe. I always knew you were special, he says softly, but I never imagined. Whatever he never imagined is lost as more guards burst in. Real guards this time, loyal to Kofi. They surround us, shields up, swords drawn. The palace is secure, Your Majesty, says the leader, a tall woman with braided hair. We found 3 more traitors, all wearing our uniforms. They're being questioned now. Good, Kofi says, his voice turning hard. The voice of a king. Double the watch. No one enters or leaves the palace without my direct order. As the guards take away the man I fought, Kofi turns back to me. You saved Zuri, he says, and yourself. I don't know how, but you did. I don't know either. I admit, looking down at my hands, normal hands, pale and slender, showing no sign of the power that flowed through them. I was just so afraid he would hurt her. Kofi takes my face in his hands, forcing me to look at him. Whatever it was, it's part of you, and it's nothing to fear. His eyes hold mine, golden and steady, a port in the storm of my confusion. Do you trust me? He asks. I think about the past weeks, about his gentleness with Zuri, his honesty with me, the way he looks at me like I matter, like I'm not a curse or a burden, but a gift. Yes, I say, I trust you. His hands are warm against my cheeks, his touch gentle despite the strength I know they hold. For a moment, I think he might kiss me. Part of me hopes he will. Instead, he drops his hands and steps back. Then trust me now. We need to leave this place. It's not safe anymore. Where will we go? I ask, lifting Zuri into my arms. Somewhere no one will think to look for us, he says. Somewhere you can learn about what's happening to you. What is happening to me? He looks at me, his face solemn in the moonlight. I think you're becoming who you were always meant to be. As we slip through the dark palace corridors, Kofi leading, guards surrounding us, I wonder what he means. Who am I meant to be? Not just the albino girl, the unwanted Omega. Something more. Something powerful enough to throw a grown alpha across a room with just light from my hands. The thought should terrify me. Instead, it fills me with a strange, wild hope. Perhaps there's a reason I was born this way. Perhaps being different isn't a curse after all. but a gift I'm only now unwrapping. Whatever lies ahead, whatever I'm becoming, I know one thing for certain. I'm not facing it alone. Not anymore. We ride through the night, a small group moving like shadows across the moonlit land. Kofi leads the way on a midnight black horse, while I follow on a gentle gray mare. Zuri held tight against me. 6 guards surround us, eyes always watching, hands never far from their weapons. The frozen lake stretches beside us, a vast mirror reflecting the stars. Our breath turns to silver clouds in the cold air. Zuri shivers against me, and I wrap my cloak tighter around us both. "Where are we going?" I ask Kofi when we stop to rest the horses. "The old forest," he says, his voice low. "There's a place there, hidden from those who don't know to look for it. We'll be safe." I've heard of the old forest in stories. Ancient trees tall as towers, paths that shift and change, strange lights that dance between the trunks at night. The Temple Sisters used these tales to frighten children into obedience. Don't wander off, or the forest spirits will get you. "Is it far?" I ask, feeling Zuri's weight grow heavier as she falls asleep in my arms. "We'll reach it by dawn," Kofi says. His golden eyes study my face in the moonlight. "Are you tired? We can stop longer." I shake my head. "I'm fine. We should keep moving." The truth is, I'm not fine. My body aches from riding, something I've never done before coming to the palace. My mind spins with questions about what happened in the storage room, the light, the power, the fear on the man's face when he looked at me. And beneath it all runs a current of worry for Kofi, whose face grows grimmer with each passing hour. We ride on, the landscape changing as we go. The open fields give way to rolling hills, then scattered trees that grow thicker and closer together. By the time the sky begins to lighten in the east, we're surrounded by forest, ancient trees with trunks wider than 3 men standing arm to arm, branches that twist and tangle overhead like gnarled fingers. "We're here," Kofi says, reining in his horse. I look around, seeing nothing but trees and shadows. "Where is here?" He dismounts and comes to help me down, lifting Zuri first, then offering his hand to me. His touch sends warmth through my cold fingers. "You'll see," he says, the ghost of a smile touching his lips. One of the guards takes the horses, leading them away through the trees. The others form a loose circle around us as Kofi guides me forward. Zuri, now awake and walking between us, her small hand in mine. We follow what might be a path, though it's hard to tell. The ground is soft, with fallen leaves and moss, muffling our footsteps. The trees seem to lean in as we pass, their branches shifting though there's no wind. Or perhaps that's just my tired mind playing tricks. After what feels like hours but might be minutes, we come to a clearing. In its center stands a small house made of dark wood and stone, its windows glowing with warm light. Smoke curls from a stone chimney, and herbs hang from the eaves, filling the air with the scent of rosemary and sage. "Who lives here?" I ask, tightening my grip on Zuri's hand. "An old friend," Kofi says. "Someone who can help us understand what's happening to you." Before he can explain more, the door of the house swings open. A woman stands there, tall and straight despite her age, which shows in the silver of her hair and the lines around her eyes. Her skin is the warm brown of autumn leaves, and her eyes, I blink in surprise. Her eyes are the exact same gold as Kofi's. "You're late," she says, her voice rich and deep. "I expected you last night." Kofi bows his head slightly. "There were complications, Elder Mother." Her golden gaze shifts to me, then to Zuri, then back to me. I feel as if she's seeing through my skin to the bones beneath, reading secrets written in my marrow. "So, this is her," she says. Not a question. The white omega. I shift uncomfortably under her stare. "My name is Winter." To my surprise, she laughs, a warm, rolling sound like water over stones. "Yes, it is. A good name, true to your nature. She steps back, gesturing to the open door. Come in, all of you. There's food and rest waiting, and much to discuss. Inside, the house is larger than it appeared from outside. A fire burns in a stone hearth, filling the main room with light and warmth. Tables line the walls, covered with jars and bundles of herbs, books and scrolls, strange objects I can't name. The air smells of cooking food, wood smoke, and something else, something wild and green and old. The woman, elder mother, Kofi called her, bustles about, setting out bowls of steaming soup and thick slices of dark bread. Zuri falls on the food like a starving wolf, making the old woman chuckle. Eat, she tells me, pushing a bowl into my hands. You'll need your strength. I obey, too hungry to question. The soup is rich and hearty, warming me from the inside out. As we eat, Kofi speaks quietly with the elder mother in a corner, their voices too low for me to hear. The guards take up positions outside, all but one who sits near the door, alert but relaxed. When the meal is done, elder mother shows us to sleeping pallets near the fire. Rest now, she says. We'll talk when you've slept. Zuri curls up on one pallet, asleep almost instantly. I sit on the edge of mine, watching as Kofi and the old woman continue their quiet conversation. I should stay awake, I say when Kofi finally approaches, in case something happens. He kneels beside my pallet, his face tired in the firelight. Nothing will happen here. This place is protected in ways you can't see. Like magic? I ask, thinking of the light that came from my hands. Something like that. He brushes a strand of white hair from my face, his fingers lingering on my cheek. Sleep, Winter. I'll be here when you wake. I want to ask more questions, to understand what's happening, but exhaustion pulls at me like weights tied to my limbs. I lie down, and sleep takes me before my head touches the pillow. When I wake, the quality of light has changed. It's softer, golden, evening light. I've slept the whole day away. Zuri's pallet is empty, and for a moment, panic grips me, until I hear her laugh from outside. I rise, my body stiff and sore, and go to the window. Outside, Zuri plays in the clearing, chasing what look like tiny lights floating in the air. Fireflies, perhaps, though it seems too cold for them. Kofi watches her from a fallen log, his face more relaxed than I've seen it in days. The sight eases something in my chest. We're safe here, at least for now. But for how long? And what happens next? Good questions, says elder mother, making me jump. I didn't hear her approach. The answers depend on choices yet to be made. I turn to face her. Can you read minds? She smiles, the lines around her eyes deepening. No, child, just faces. Yours speaks your thoughts clearly. She moves to a table, gesturing for me to join her. On the worn wooden surface sits a bowl of water and a small knife with a silver blade. What is that for? I ask, eyeing the knife warily. A test, she says, to confirm what I already suspect. Before I can ask more, the door opens and Kofi enters, Zuri trotting at his heels. The child's face is flushed with play, her eyes bright. Winter, she cries, running to hug my legs. I saw fairies. I smooth her curly hair, smiling down at her. Did you now? And were they friendly fairies? Very friendly, Kofi says, coming to stand beside us. They showed her a fox den with new kits. The ease between them warms my heart. In the short time we've been together, they've formed a bond as strong as any blood tie. Kofi treats Zuri as if she were his own, and she looks at him with complete trust. Elder mother clears her throat. The child should rest before dinner, she says. I have things to discuss with these two. A young woman I hadn't noticed before steps forward from a shadowed corner. She has the same golden eyes as Elder Mother and Kofi, a family trait, I realize. Come, little one, she says to Zuri. I have honey cakes in the kitchen. Zuri looks to me for permission. When I nod, she happily takes the woman's hand and follows her through a door at the back of the house. Now, Elder Mother says when they're gone, let us begin. She gestures for us to sit at the table. Kofi takes my hand as we sit, his warm fingers curling around mine. The touch steadies me, though I'm not sure why I need steadying. What you did in the palace, Elder Mother says, looking directly at me. Describe it. I swallow hard, remembering. There was a man, one of the traitors. He was going to hurt Zuri. I was afraid, so afraid. And then something happened inside me, like ice water in my veins, but not cold. Powerful. Light came from my hands and threw him against the wall. Elder Mother nods as if this is exactly what she expected to hear. And before that? Have there been other signs? I think back. Sometimes I know things before they happen. Small things. When it will rain, when someone is about to enter a room. I've always been able to see in the dark better than others. And animals, trust me. Even wild ones. All signs of the old blood, she murmurs. She picks up the small knife. May I? I hesitate, looking at Kofi. He nods encouragingly, his hand tightening on mine. It's all right, he says. It won't hurt much. Elder Mother takes my free hand, turning it palm up. With one swift motion, she pricks my finger with the knife's tip. A drop of blood wells up, bright red against my pale skin. Hold it over the bowl, she instructs. I do as she says, letting the drop of blood fall into the clear water. As it hits the surface, something strange happens. The blood doesn't cloud the water or sink to the bottom. Instead, it spreads out in thin red lines, forming a pattern, a snowflake, perfect and intricate. Elder Mother draws in a sharp breath. It's true then, the prophecy. What prophecy? I ask, looking from her to Kofi and back again. What's happening to me? Kofi releases my hand, his face solemn. There is a story passed down in my family for generations. A prophecy about a ruler born of darkness who would join with one born of light to bring balance to the realms. Born of darkness, I repeat, looking at his midnight dark skin, and one born of light. You, he says simply. The white Omega. The prophecy says she would come when the kingdom was in greatest need, with power to match the Dark Alpha's own. I shake my head, not wanting to believe. But I'm no one. Just an orphan girl no one wanted. You were hidden. Elder Mother says firmly. Protected until the time was right. Your parents didn't abandon you because of what you are. They gave you to the temple to keep you safe from those who would use your power. My power? I echo. This light. What is it? Ancient magic, she says. Just as Kofi carries the shadow magic of his bloodline, you carry the light magic of yours. Opposites but equal, like the sun and moon, together unstoppable. I look at Kofi. You knew all this time? His golden eyes hold mine, steady and sure. I suspected. From the moment I saw you at the auction, something in me recognized something in you. But I wasn't certain until I saw your eyes change color when we were attacked in your chambers. My eyes changed? From pink to silver, he confirms. Like moonlight. I try to take this in. This impossible truth about myself. If what you say is true, why didn't my power show itself before? Why now? The old magic awakens when it's needed. Elder Mother explains, and when the heart opens, you protected Zuri because you love her. You fought because you found something worth fighting for. Love. The word echoes in my mind. Yes, I love Zuri, with her curly hair and curious eyes and trusting heart. And Kofi, what I feel for him is more complicated. Respect, gratitude, friendship, and something else. Something new and fragile that makes my heart beat faster when he's near. So what happens now? I ask. Why did we have to leave the palace? Kofi's face darkens. The attack wasn't random. The traitors were after both Zuri and you. Someone knows about the prophecy and wants to stop it from coming true. Who? My uncle, Jabari, Kofi says, his voice hard. He's always wanted the throne. Now he claims I'm unfit to rule, that I've been bewitched by an albino omega. I flinch at the words so similar to those I've heard all my life. Cursed, unnatural, bad luck. He's gathering support from the noble houses, Kofi continues, turning my people against me. While we're gone, he'll make his move to take the throne. Alarm shoots through me. Then we have to go back. You have to stop him. Kofi shakes his head. Not yet. First, you need to understand your power, learn to control it. And I need to gather my own supporters, those still loyal to me. How long will that take? I ask, thinking of the palace where I'd finally begun to feel at home. A month, Elder Mother says. Maybe more. A month. It seems both a short time and forever. A month away from the life I was just beginning to build. A month here, in this strange place, learning about a power I never knew I had. And then what? I ask. We go back and fight your uncle? Kofi's eyes meet mine across the table, golden and determined. We go back and reclaim what's ours, together. Together, I repeat, testing the word. No one has ever included me in their plans, their future. I've always been alone, apart, the one left behind. Elder Mother rises from the table. Enough for tonight. There's time for more talk tomorrow. She pats my shoulder as she passes. Rest, child. Accept what is. The path ahead may not be the one you would have chosen, but it's the one meant for you. After she leaves, Kofi and I sit in silence, the weight of all we've learned hanging between us. Outside, night has fallen completely, and the strange lights Zuri called fairies dance among the trees. I'm sorry, Kofi says finally. I never meant to bring this on you. I look at him, this king who has lost his throne, this alpha who treats an orphan child with kindness, this man who saw something in me when all others looked away. Don't be sorry, I tell him. For the first time in my life, I feel like I might belong somewhere, like there might be a reason I am the way I am. He reaches across the table, taking my hand again. You do belong, Winter. You always have. The world just didn't know it yet. His words wrap around my heart like a warm blanket on a cold night. But as I look into his golden eyes, I see the worry he tries to hide, the weight of a kingdom on his shoulders. You have to go back, don't you? I say, understanding dawning. You can't stay here and wait. Your people need you. He doesn't deny it. My loyal guards have been gathering information. Jabari moves faster than we thought. I have to return to rally those still faithful to me. When? Tomorrow, at dawn. The words hit me like a physical blow. So soon. And Zuri and I? Will we stay here? He squeezes my hand. It's the safest place for you both. Elder Mother will protect you, teach you, and I will return as soon as I can. I want to argue, to insist on going with him, to tell him that we're stronger together, just as the prophecy says. But I see the resolve in his face and know his mind is made up. Promise me, I say, my voice barely above a whisper. Promise you'll come back for us. His eyes hold mine, golden and fierce. I swear it, Winter. On my crown, on my life. I will come back for you both. I believe him. But as I look at our joined hands, his dark, mine light, I can't help but fear what the coming days will bring. The world that brought us together now threatens to tear us apart, and the power that might save us is still a stranger to me. Tomorrow he will ride away, back to danger and duty, and I will stay here, learning to be something I never knew I was. The distance between us will grow with every hoofbeat, and the future, our future, will hang in the balance. Dawn comes cold and gray, the forest wrapped in mist that turns the ancient trees into shadowy giants. I stand at the edge of the clearing, watching as Kofi's men ready the horses. My heart feels heavy as stone in my chest, each beat painful. Kofi kneels before Zuri, who clings to his tunic with small fists, her face wet with tears. "I don't want you to go," she sobs. "Please stay." He gently wipes her cheeks. "I must go, little one. But I'll come back for you, I promise." "You said that to Mama too," Zuri says, her voice breaking. "And she never came back." Kofi's face tightens with pain. He pulls Zuri into his arms, holding her close. "I know, and I'm so sorry about your mama, but this is different. I'm going to fix things so we can all be together again." Zuri sniffles against his shoulder. "You, me, and Winter? All together?" "Yes," he says, his golden eyes finding mine over her curly head. "All of us." He rises, still holding Zuri, and comes to where I stand. The morning light catches in his black hair, turning it blue-black like a raven's wing. He looks every inch a king, even dressed in the simple clothes of a traveler. 2 months, he says to me. That's how long I need to gather my forces and make a plan. Then I'll return. 2 months. It seems like forever. Already I feel the emptiness his absence will create, a hollow space beside me where he should be. "Be careful," I tell him, my voice barely above a whisper. "Jabari is dangerous." "So am I," Kofi says, a hard edge to his voice. Then, softer. "Learn everything you can from Elder Mother. Master your power. When I return, we'll need it." He sets Zuri down and turns to me fully. Before I realize what he means to do, he takes my face in his hands and kisses me. His lips are warm against mine, the touch gentle yet firm, like a promise written on skin. My heart leaps, then settles into a new rhythm, as if finding its true beat for the first time. When he pulls back, his golden eyes are dark with emotions I can't name. "I'll come back," he says. "Wait for me." And then he's gone, mounting his black horse in one fluid motion. His men fall in around him, a small force against the dangers that await. They ride into the forest, mist swallowing them until all that remains is the sound of hoofbeats, growing fainter with each second. Zuri's small hand slips into mine. "Will he really come back?" she asks, her voice small. I squeeze her fingers, trying to push aside my own doubts. "Yes," he promised. Elder Mother comes to stand beside us, her silver hair loose around her shoulders. "Come," she says. "We have work to do." Days become weeks as we settle into life in the forest house. Each morning, Elder Mother teaches me about my power, what she calls light magic. We sit in the clearing, eyes closed, as she guides me through exercises to feel the energy that flows through all living things. "Your magic comes from the same source as all life," she explains. "The light of creation that burns in every star, every plant, every heart. You just have more of it than most." Slowly, I learn to call the light at will. Small glowing orbs that float above my palm, flashes that can blind an attacker, warmth that can heal small wounds. Each success makes me stronger, more confident. Each failure teaches me patience. In the afternoons, I spend time with Zuri, exploring the forest under the watchful eyes of the young woman with golden eyes. Nima, Elder Mother's granddaughter. We find wild strawberries growing in sunny patches, see deer drinking from crystal streams, follow butterflies with wings that glow like jewels in the dappled light. At night, I sit by the fire with Elder Mother, listening to stories of the old days, when magic was common and her people, Kofi's people, ruled the Northern Territories in peace. She tells me of the shadow magic in their bloodline, passed down from parent to child for generations. Kofi's power is strong, she says, stronger than any in 5 generations. That's why Jabari fears him. And you. Me? I ask, surprised. The prophecy speaks of balance, dark and light working as one. Alone, each is powerful. Together. She smiles, the firelight deepening the lines on her face. Together, you could change the world. I think of Kofi, his strength, his kindness, the way he makes me feel safe yet free. Is that what the prophecy means? Not just our magic working together, but us? The thought makes my cheeks warm, and Elder Mother laughs softly, as if reading my mind again. The heart knows what it wants, she says, even when the head isn't ready to listen. 6 weeks pass this way, in learning and waiting. I grow stronger each day, more sure of my power. Zuri grows too, her nightmares less frequent, her smile quicker to appear. She follows me everywhere, helping with chores, watching as I practice my magic, asking endless questions about the world. Are you my new mama now? She asks one night as I tuck her into bed. The question catches me off guard. Would you want me to be? She nods solemnly. You take care of me like Mama did. You make the bad dreams go away, and you love me. I can tell. Tears prick my eyes. Yes, I admit. I do love you, Zuri. And you love Kofi too, she says. Not a question, but a statement of fact. My heart skips. I care for him very much. Zuri yawns, her eyes growing heavy. That's good. He loves you too. He told me so. Before I can ask when he said this, she's asleep, her breathing deep and even. I sit beside her bed for a long time, thinking about her words. Could it be true? Does Kofi love me? And what I feel for him? This mixture of respect and longing, safety and excitement, is that love? The next morning breaks clear and cold, the first hint of true winter in the air. I wake early, before dawn, pulled from sleep by a strange feeling I can't name. Something is different. Something is coming. I slip outside, careful not to wake Zuri or the others. The clearing is silent, the forest still dark around its edges. I wrap my arms around myself, trying to understand the feeling that prickles along my skin like tiny needles. A twig snaps in the forest. I turn quickly, calling light to my palm without conscious thought. The glow illuminates the trees nearest me, pushing back the shadows. Who's there? I call, trying to keep my voice steady. Silence answers me. Then another sound, a rustle of leaves, closer now. I raise my hand higher, the light growing stronger. A figure steps into the clearing, a man tall and lean, with the same golden eyes as Kofi, but none of his warmth. His skin is lighter, the color of sandy earth rather than midnight. His face is handsome but cold, lips curled in a smile that doesn't reach his eyes. So it's true, he says, his voice smooth as silk. The albino omega with power. The white witch? They call you in the capital. Fear spikes through me, but I hold my ground. Who are you? Though I already know. The same cheekbones as Kofi? The same proud bearing. Family, but not friend. Has my dear nephew not mentioned me? I'm wounded. He places a hand over his heart in mock hurt. I am Jabari, rightful king of the Northern Territories. I take a step back, my light growing brighter in response to my fear. Kofi is the rightful king. Jabari's smile turns cruel. Kofi is dead. The world stops. My heart, my breath, everything freezes at his words. You lie, I whisper. Do I? He reaches into his cloak and pulls out something that gleams in the light from my hand. A crown of black metal set with amber stones. Kofi's crown. He fell in battle 3 days ago, trying to retake the palace. Brave but foolish, just like his father. My knees weaken, but I lock them, refusing to fall. I don't believe you. I would know if he were dead. I would feel it. Jabari shrugs, tucking the crown away again. Believe what you will. It changes nothing. I rule now, and I've come for the child. Zuri? Cold fear replaces the hot shock of his words about Kofi. Why? She is the last of her line. A line that has claimed parts of the Eastern Territories for generations. With her under my control, her grandfather will have no choice but to bend the knee to me. His golden eyes, so like Kofi's, yet so different, narrow. Where is she? Safe from you, I say, straightening my spine. The light around my hand pulses brighter, reflecting the anger building inside me. And she's staying that way. Jabari laughs, the sound echoing in the quiet clearing. You think you can stop me, a half-trained Omega, with party tricks? He steps closer, unafraid of my light. I've mastered the shadow magic of my bloodline while you were still learning to walk, girl. Your light is nothing against my darkness. As if to prove his point, shadows begin to gather around him, not natural shadows cast by my light, but something else, something alive. They coil around his arms like smoke, writhe at his feet like snakes. The air grows cold, and my breath forms clouds in front of my face. Last chance, he says softly. Give me the child, and I might let you live. Refuse, and I'll take her anyway, after I've shown you what real power looks like. I should be afraid. Part of me is. But stronger than fear is something else. A fierce protectiveness for Zuri, sleeping trustingly inside. And beneath that, a burning rage at this man who claims Kofi is dead, who dares to steal his crown, who threatens a child for his own gain. No, I say, my voice stronger than I expected. You will not take her. Not today. Not ever. Jabari sighs, as if disappointed, but not surprised. So be it. The shadows around him surge forward, fast as striking vipers. I throw up a shield of light instinctively, just as Elder Mother taught me. The shadows hit it and scatter, hissing like water on hot stones. Jabari's eyebrows rise in surprise. Interesting, you've learned some control. His surprise turns to a smile, but not enough. He moves his hands in a complex pattern, and the shadows reform, darker and thicker. They slam into my shield again, and this time I feel it crack, like ice breaking underfoot. I pour more power into it, drawing on the anger and fear inside me, turning it to light. The door of the house bursts open, and Elder Mother rushes out, Nima behind her. Winter! Elder Mother calls. Get back! Too late. Jabari sees them and flicks one hand in their direction. Shadows wrap around them both, binding them in place. Nima struggles, her golden eyes wide with fear, but Elder Mother stands still, her gaze fixed on Jabari. Nephew, she says, her voice sad. What has become of you? I've taken what should have been mine from the beginning, he snarls. What you and my brother denied me. While he's distracted, I strengthen my shield, remembering everything Elder Mother taught me. Feel the light within. See it in your mind. Let it flow through you, not from you. You don't create it. You channel it. And Kofi? Elder Mother asks. What have you done to him? Jabari's face twists. Nothing he didn't bring on himself. He should have stayed hidden in the forest with his pet Omega and the brat. But no, he had to play the hero, gather his loyal fools, try to take back the palace. And did he? I ask, needing to know, clinging to hope despite the crown Jabari carries. Jabari turns back to me, shadows swirling around him like a cloak. He failed, as I knew he would. Dark magic will always overcome light in the end. You're wrong, I say, thinking of Kofi's strength, his goodness. Darkness cannot exist without light. They need each other. Balance. The prophecy, Jabari spits. Childish nonsense. There is no balance, only power. And I have it now. He strikes again, shadows rushing toward me like a black wave. This time, instead of just defending, I push back. Light streams from my hands, bright as noon sun, colliding with his shadows in a burst of energy that knocks us both back. I stumble but stay on my feet. Jabari does the same, his face contorted with rage. Enough games, he growls. Give me the child, or I'll burn this forest to the ground with everyone in it. No, comes a small voice from the doorway. You won't hurt my family. Zuri stands there, her small face set in determination, her curly hair wild from sleep. My heart nearly stops at the sight of her, so small against the looming threat. Zuri, go back inside! I shout, fear making my voice sharp, but she doesn't move. Instead, she looks straight at Jabari, her dark eyes showing no fear. You're a bad man, she says simply. Like the ones who hurt my mama, I won't go with you. Jabari's lips curl in a cold smile. Brave little thing, aren't you? Just like your mother. He steps toward her. It won't save you. I move without thinking, placing myself between Zuri and Jabari. Light blazes around me, brighter than ever before, fueled by something stronger than fear or anger. Love. Love for the child behind me. Love for Kofi, who might be lost. Love for this strange new family I've found. You will not touch her, I say, each word carrying the weight of my power. You will leave this place, now. Jabari laughs, but I see uncertainty flicker in his golden eyes. Or what, White Witch? What will you do? The answer comes not from me, but from the forest. A horn sounds, deep and resonant, echoing through the trees. Then another, and another. The sound of hoofbeats grows. Many horses moving fast. Jabari's head whips around, shadows gathering tighter around him. What trick is this? I don't know, but hope rises in me, like the dawn breaking. I hold my light steady, keeping myself between Zuri and danger as riders burst into the clearing. Men and women wearing the colors of the Northern Territories, swords drawn, faces grim. And at their head, on a midnight black horse, a figure I thought I might never see again. Tall and proud, golden eyes blazing with fury, very much alive. Kofi, I whisper, my heart singing the name. Jabari's face drains of color. Impossible, he hisses. You're dead. I saw you fall. Kofi dismounts in one fluid motion, drawing his sword. The blade glows with a strange blue light, as if it holds a piece of the night sky. You saw what I wanted you to see, Uncle, he says, his voice hard as steel. A trick of shadows, your own magic turned against you. He strides forward, each step purposeful, until he stands beside me. His free hand finds mine, warm and strong, fingers intertwining with my own. Light and shadow merge where we touch, creating something new, a shimmering power that dances along our joined hands. It's over, Jabari, Kofi says. Surrender now. Jabari looks from Kofi to me, to our joined hands, to the riders surrounding the clearing. For a moment, I think he might yield. Then his face twists with hate, and shadows explode around him, dark and thick as storm clouds. Nothing is over, he snarls. This is just the beginning. The shadows surge toward us like a tidal wave of night. But we are ready. Together, Kofi and I raise our free hands, his shadows and my light combining into a shield stronger than either alone. Jabari's attack hits it and shatters, dark fragments scattering like broken glass. Jabari stumbles back, shock plain on his face. How? The prophecy, Kofi says simply. Light and dark and balance, together. He raises his sword, the blue glow growing brighter. Now, Uncle, your choice. Surrender or fight. But know this, you will not win, and you will never touch my family again. Family. The word echoes in my heart as I stand beside Kofi, Zuri safe behind us, our powers joined in perfect balance. This is what I was born for. Not to be feared or hidden away, but to stand in the light, to protect, to love. Whatever Jabari chooses, whatever comes next, I am no longer the unwanted albino girl. I am Winter, the white Omega, light bringer, child protector, heart holder, and I am finally, truly, home. Jabari looks from Kofi to me and back again, hatred burning in his golden eyes. The shadows around him pulse and twist like angry snakes, but I can see doubt creeping into his face. He is strong, but we are stronger together. This isn't over, he hisses. Then the shadows swallow him whole, and when they clear, he's gone, vanished into the forest like morning mist. Kofi's men rush forward, searching the trees, but I know they won't find him. Not today. He has slipped away to fight another day, like a wounded wolf retreating to its den. Kofi turns to me, his sword lowering, the blue glow fading from its blade. His golden eyes are warm as they search my face. "Are you hurt?" he asks, his free hand rising to touch my cheek. I shake my head, too full of feeling to speak. He's alive. He's here. The world rights itself on its axis, colors sharper, air sweeter, everything more real now that he has returned. Kofi! Zuri's small voice breaks the spell. She runs to him, arms outstretched. He catches her, lifting her high against his chest, his face softening with love. "Little one," he says, kissing her curly head. "I've missed you." "The bad man said you were dead," she tells him, small hands patting his face as if to make sure he's real. But Winter didn't believe him. "She said we'd know if you were gone." Kofi's eyes find mine over Zuri's head. "She was right," he says softly. "Some bonds can't be broken, not even by death." My heart swells at his words, at the look in his eyes that speaks of things too deep for language. He is my opposite and my match, darkness to my light, strength to my softness. In his eyes, I am not strange or cursed or unwanted. I am needed, valued, loved. Elder Mother approaches, freed from Jabari's shadows when he fled. She looks tired but unharmed, her silver hair wild around her face. "Well done," she says to us both. "The prophecy speaks true. Together, you are a force to be reckoned with." Kofi nods to her respectfully. "Your teaching made it possible, Elder Mother." Winter's control of her power is impressive. "She is a quick learner," Elder Mother says with a small smile, "and she had good reason to master her gifts." Kofi sets Zuri down gently and turns to his men. "Secure the perimeter," he orders. "Jabari won't have gone far, and he won't be alone." As the guards disperse, following his command, Kofi leads us inside the forest house. The morning sun streams through the windows, turning dust motes to gold in the air. It feels strange to be doing such normal things, sitting at the table, pouring tea, breaking bread, after what just happened. But life goes on, even in the midst of danger and magic and prophecies. "Tell me everything," I say when we're settled, Zuri playing quietly by the fire with her wooden toys. "Jabari said you fell in battle." Kofi's face turns grim. "A trap. He knew I would try to retake the palace. His men were waiting." He pushes up his sleeve, showing a half-healed wound on his forearm. "I nearly did fall, but some of my people got me out, hid me until I could heal." "And the crown?" I ask, remembering the black metal circlet Jabari had shown me. "He had your crown." "A copy," Kofi says with a small smile. "The real one is hidden where no one but me can find it." He leans forward, taking my hands in his. "I'm sorry I didn't send word. It wasn't safe. Jabari has spies everywhere." I squeeze his hands, understanding. "You're here now. That's what matters. He looks at me, something vulnerable in his golden eyes. I heard you, when I was wounded, fading in and out of consciousness. I heard your voice calling me back, telling me to hold on, to come home. I didn't call you, I say, confused. Not out loud, anyway. Not with words, he agrees. With your heart. I felt it, like a tug inside me, pulling me back from the darkness. Elder Mother makes a soft sound of satisfaction. The soul bond, she says. It's rare, even among those with the old magic. Your spirits are connected now, one to the other. Distance cannot break it. Even death would have trouble. I think of the strange feelings I've had these past weeks. Moments of fear or pain that came from nowhere. Dreams of Kofi fighting. The certainty this morning that something was coming. Not my imagination after all, but our bond. What happens now? I ask, looking from Elder Mother to Kofi. Jabari is still out there. He still wants Zuri. And the throne, Kofi adds. And you, me? Your power, he explains. If he could control it, use it. He shakes his head. He would be unstoppable. Then we have to stop him first, I say simply. Kofi's lips curve in a smile that's both proud and sad. Yes, but it won't be easy. He has support among the noble houses, soldiers loyal to him, spies in every corner of the kingdom. But we have something he doesn't, I remind him. Each other. His hands tighten on mine. Yes, and the prophecy. Elder Mother rises, moving to a chest in the corner of the room. From it, she draws an old scroll, its edges yellowed with age. She brings it to the table, unrolling it carefully. It's time you both read it, she says. The whole thing. I lean forward, looking at the faded writing. The language is old, the letters flowing and strange, but somehow I can understand it, as if the words speak directly to my mind. When darkness threatens to swallow the land, I read aloud. When brother turns against brother, and blood stains the throne, the joining of shadow and light will restore balance. Born of midnight, the Shadow King shall unite with the Child of Snow, and their powers combined will drive back the darkness. I look up at Kofi, seeing the same wonder in his eyes that I feel. That's us, I whisper. It's really about us. He nods, continuing to read where I left off. The Child of Snow, hidden and hunted, shall come into her power when love awakens her heart. The Shadow King, burdened by his crown, shall find strength in her light. Together they shall break the chains of the past and forge a new future. The words settle around us like a mantle, heavy with purpose and promise. This was written long ago, yet it speaks of us as surely as if our names were there on the page. There's more, Elder Mother says, pointing to lines below what we've read. A warning. Kofi's face grows solemn as he reads. Beware the blood betrayer, who shares the shadow magic but lacks the heart to wield it justly. He will stop at nothing to possess both light and dark, to bend the prophecy to his will. Only when shadow and light become one can his darkness be truly defeated. Jabari, I say, a chill running through me. The blood betrayer. My father's brother, Kofi confirms. Born with the same magic, raised with the same privileges, yet his heart turned to bitterness when my father was chosen to be king instead of him. And now he wants everything, I say. The throne, Zuri, my power. He won't get any of it, Kofi says firmly. I swear it. Elder Mother rolls the scroll carefully. The prophecy tells what may be, not what must be, she cautions. The future is still unwritten. Your choices will determine whether the light or the darkness prevails. I look at Kofi, at the determination in his face, the strength in his shoulders, the gentleness in his hands as they hold mine. I think of all we've been through, from the auction block where we first met to this moment, bound by prophecy and something deeper. I choose you, I say simply. I choose us. His golden eyes brighten, as if actual light shines behind them. As do I, he says. Always. He leans across the table and kisses me, a promise sealed with touch. His lips are warm against mine, sure and steady. I feel our bond pulse between us, strengthening with each beat of our hearts. When we part, I see Zuri watching us, a smile on her small face. She comes to us, climbing into my lap, reaching for Kofi's hand. Are we going home now? She asks. Home. Such a simple word for such a complex thing. Is home the palace with its grand rooms and frozen lake? Is it this forest house with its warm fire and hidden magic? Or is it something else? Not a place at all, but the feeling of belonging that comes from being with those you love. Yes, Kofi says, looking at us both with a fierce tenderness. We're going home, together. 5 years pass like water flowing in a stream, sometimes fast, sometimes slow, but always moving forward. I stand on the highest tower of the palace, looking out over the kingdom that has become my home. The frozen lake glitters in the winter sun, and beyond it, the forests and fields stretch to the mountains on the horizon. My white hair blows free in the cold wind, no longer hidden but adorned with a silver crown set with moonstone and diamonds. My pale skin, once a mark of shame, now shines with a soft inner light that never fully fades. The people who once feared me as the White Witch now bow their heads as I pass, calling me the Light Queen, the Snow Mother, the White Heart of the North. Mama, look, calls a voice from below. In the palace courtyard, Zuri spins in circles, arms outstretched, catching snowflakes on her tongue. At 8 years old, she is all long limbs and wild curls, her laugh bright as bells in the cold air. Beside her toddles a smaller figure, bundled in furs against the winter chill. My son, just 2 years old, his skin a beautiful blend of my paleness and his father's darkness, like tea with milk stirred in. His eyes, golden as sunrise, watch his sister with delight. He claps his small hands as she spins, trying to copy her movements but falling into the soft snow instead. I smile at them both, these children of my heart and body, one brought to me by fate, the other by love. Both equally precious, equally mine. You should wear a cloak, my queen, says a deep voice behind me. The winter bites even those born of snow. I turn to find Kofi watching me, his golden eyes warm despite the cold. 5 years as king restored to his throne have added a few lines around those eyes, a touch of silver at his temples. But they have also eased something in him, softened the hard edges that years of fighting left behind. He rules with wisdom and strength, beloved by his people, feared by his enemies. The cold never bothered me, I remind him, smiling. You're the one who shivers when the first snow falls. He laughs, coming to stand beside me at the tower's edge. His arm slips around my waist, pulling me against his side. Even through layers of clothing, his touch warms me to my core. The delegates from the Eastern Territories have arrived, he says, Zuri's grandfather among them. I nod, watching as Zuri helps our son up from the snow, brushing white powder from his face with gentle hands. Does he still ask to take her back with him? No, Kofi says. Not since the binding ceremony last year. He knows she belongs with us now, in all ways that matter. The binding ceremony, when Zuri officially became our daughter in the eyes of the law and the old magic. I remember her serious face as she spoke the words, her small hands steady as she placed them in ours. I choose you, she had said, echoing words I once spoke to Kofi. I choose us. Good, I say. I couldn't bear to lose her. You won't, Kofi assures me, his arm tightening around my waist. No one will take her from us again. Or him. He nods toward our son, now throwing snow in the air, giggling as it falls around him like glittering dust. Below us, the palace hums with activity. Servants hurry across the courtyard, carrying food and decorations for tonight's feast. Guards stand at every entrance, alert but relaxed. In the gardens, even in winter, plants grow. Night-blooming flowers that I brought from the forest. Herbs that elder mother taught me to tend. Trees with silver bark that glow faintly in the dark. 5 years ago, this palace was a place of shadows and secrets, of traitors hiding in corners, of fear. Now it shines, filled with light and laughter and life. The changes didn't happen overnight. After we returned from the forest, there were battles to fight, both with swords and with words. Jabari's supporters among the noble houses had to be won over or defeated. The people told lies about their king and his witch, had to learn the truth. And Jabari himself, he fought to the bitter end, his shadow magic growing darker and more twisted as his hatred consumed him. The final battle, fought in the throne room with storm clouds gathering outside, nearly cost us everything. I still bear a scar on my back from his shadow blade. Kofi still wakes sometimes in the night, reaching for me, making sure I'm there, alive, beside him. But we won. Together, just as the prophecy foretold. Light and shadow in balance, neither overcoming the other, both necessary, both powerful. When our powers joined that final time, something new was created. A magic neither dark nor light, but both at once. A perfect harmony that shattered Jabari's twisted shadows and bound his power away. "What are you thinking about?" Kofi asks, his thumb tracing small circles on my hip. "Everything," I say. "How much has changed. How far we've come." He turns me to face him, his hands warm on my waist. "Do you ever miss it? The simplicity of those days in the forest house? Just the three of us, hidden away from the world?" I consider his question, remembering the peace of those days, the quiet evenings by the fire. Sometimes, I admit, but I wouldn't trade what we have now, not for anything. His smile is slow and sweet, making my heart beat faster even after all this time. "Nor would I," he says, "though being king is not always easy. Being queen has its challenges too," I remind him, like the noble ladies who still whisper behind their hands when I pass, or the visiting dignitaries who look surprised to see an albino Omega on the throne beside the Black Alpha King, or the nights spent worrying about our children, about keeping them safe in a world that isn't always kind to those who are different. "You make it look effortless," Kofi says, his golden eyes filled with pride. "The people adore you, even those who once feared you. They feared what they didn't understand," I say. "Fear can turn to love with time and patience. And a little magic," he adds, his fingers brushing a strand of white hair from my face. I laugh softly. "That too." From the courtyard below comes a happy shout. "Papa! Mama! Come play!" We look down to see Zuri waving at us, our son clapping beside her, both their faces turned up with identical expressions of joy. "We should join them," I say, "before they come looking for us." Kofi nods, but before we turn to go, he pulls me close for a kiss. His lips are warm against mine, familiar yet still thrilling after all this time. The bond between us pulses with each heartbeat, stronger now than ever, unbreakable. "I love you, my white queen," he murmurs against my lips, "more than shadow loves the night." "And I love you, my black king," I whisper back, "more than light loves the dawn." Hand in hand, we descend from the tower to join our children in the snow. As I step into the courtyard, I catch sight of my reflection in a frozen fountain. White hair, pale skin, silver crown. The albino girl from the auction block, once unwanted, now beloved. Queen, mother, mate, friend. No longer defined by what makes me different, but by what makes me whole. Zuri runs to me, taking my hands, pulling me into her game. Our son toddles to Kofi, arms raised to be lifted. And as the four of us play in the winter sun, I know with bone-deep certainty that this is what I was born for. Not prophecies or power or thrones, but this family, this love. This life where differences are not divided but united, where light and dark dance together in perfect balance. The unwanted girl has found her place at last, and it is beautiful beyond all imagining.